Be serious because it's cold. Okay. My name is Kristal Garcia.
What's the air speed velocity when I'm ready to swallow?
Coconuts. So, a couple years ago, I was part of the men's rights activist movement, and we all got interviewed, and so I was invited to be a part of the Q&A and come to the screening, and I'm here in New York City, which is very cool, so I got to be here and be a part of it. So yeah, that's why I'm here, and also because I want to hear, see how it went and view the video, and it's pretty exciting because I didn't know what was going to be on the video, I knew, I got an idea, but to see it all pieced together was really amazing. Oh, that's a tough one because there are so many really powerful points in there. I think I would have to say that the fact that it's time we listen to men and what they have to say and their needs and what they're trying to say, and have the discussion, have a real human rights discussion which includes everyone. I think it's going to spark a lot of curiosity, a lot of communications, I'm sure a lot of debates too. Some people, there's going to be people who are confronted, there's going to be people who are just relieved, that are going to be like, oh my God, yeah, I've been thinking about this for a while and I haven't been able to speak it. So I think it's just going to bring out, I believe, a lot of freedom, like people to actually have this discussion instead of being shamed to be quiet. Well, I would say I could only speak from my experience when I was a feminist. It was very confronting. Like I had to confront myself, and it's never fun to confront oneself. And so, in order to be open to new conversations, I had to look at myself first. So I would think whoever's confronted by the conversation, there's something going on, that, like, for me personally, when I was confronted, I had to look at a lot of things that I didn't expect to be looking at, that I didn't know was there for me. So I think, if it's confronting for people, it's like this self-conversation and this inner exploration that's asking to be looked at. And for me, that personally for me was the confrontation. Well, when I was having discussions with my fellow feminists and nobody wanted to hear what I had to say, and at that point I was still a feminist, and I was like, well, we're supposed to be talking about equality, we're supposed to be standing about equality. Did you guys hear about this? Did you guys know about this? And everything I said was totally shut down. And then I was called a misogynist because someone asked, was like, we don't have equal representation in Congress. And I was like, well, how do you, what do you mean? She's like, well, there's not the same amount of women. I was like, well, that doesn't necessarily mean we don't have equal representation in Congress. I'm all for opening the doors to women to be in Congress. However, if you're going to tell me that just because someone has the same anatomy as me, that they're going to equally represent me, then, you're telling me that my anatomy is why I think a certain way. That's pretty sexist. And for saying that, I was called a misogynist. And then when I was like, and I felt like my voice had been caught in my throat, and I was like, oh my God, is this what men experience all the time? And then I was like, wow, okay, so there isn't this rampant misogyny. That's just a word that's being used to shut people up. And so I suddenly felt like this safety and this freedom that I hadn't experienced before in my life. And I was like, oh my God, so many women are being told that they have to live this fear. This is, I spent most of my life afraid that someone was gonna pop out of the bushes to get me, and I'm like, oh, that's a farce. So when I realized that, I was like, okay, this doesn't work for anybody. Men are not being heard. Women are told to be living in fear. And I was like, that it doesn't work. Oh, yeah, absolutely. All of it, I would say, stemmed from when I started to heal my relationship with my father, who I never met him, but I started to heal my relationship with him, and that opened me up to all of these, conversations, inadvertently when I started to do some writing. And as I started to heal my relationship with my father, I started to heal my relationship with men. And in that, I started to heal my relationship with myself. And then the interesting thing is, as I healed my relationship with men, they supported me in healing my relationship with women. And so, throughout the whole experience, I got to find my authentic voice. So yeah, absolutely. It was really specific, men were, how I would be reacting with women. Men would just be like, why are you talking to them like that? You need to be more gentle with them. And they would, when I was being kind of dicey or vicious, really, with other women, they'd be like, but why? And if they see women arguing with each other, they'd be like, you guys shouldn't, argue with each other. You guys are sisters, work together, So it was they brought this softness into a place that wasn't very soft for me. And so, yeah, it was unexpected. I didn't expect that, but it was really, really cool. Yeah. Me personally, it's just that's just who men are. They're just this space of tenderness and community. And I'm not saying that women aren't, but there is a reality to how how we interact with each other. And there is something to be said about how men really want to extend tenderness to women, including if they see women being that way with each other. They discourage it. You don't have to do that with each other. You guys can just connect and be kind with each other. Yeah, absolutely. This movie's revolutionary as far as I see it. It's powerful. It's going to, yes, open up a lot of conversation, but it's going to just shift so much. Views, I honestly believe it's going to save some people's lives. And it's just going to bring forward, I feel, a huge healing that's needed in society. Well, for me, it opens up this whole conversation and experience of being compassionate with men, and opening up that whole space of compassion. And to me, compassion can only breed more compassion. So I feel when, there is this listening and these conversations, I think it's going to be really healing for people to be really present with each other and listen. Yeah, I just find this really exciting. This is a conversation that won't stay quiet. It's popping up all over the place, and the red pill is really gonna just blow the lid off of that and just be a really big space of healing and freedom for everybody. So I'm really excited about it.
Okay, I think that's good because we're both
okay.
cold.
Yeah. Awesome.